If you're new here, and if you couldn't tell by that description, we talk about Formula One and we talk about football on this podcast because those are our two loves. It is episode 98, as I mentioned. Let's call it the Connor Bedard episode of the Gridiron Podcast. To our friends in the true North, strong and free, Katie Caldwell, our Canadian queen, always joining us. Katie, how you doing?
Good. What would our third shared love be? Never thought about that.
Beer, probably.
Oh, yeah, checks out. Hey, guys.
Yeah, that works. That works.
That tracks.
Yeah. And our ball behemoth holding down the fort in the land, our resident NFL.com talent writer, flexing on the haters. It's Nick Shook.
Could also be the Max Crosby episode, but I'm pretty sure that was last week.
So yeah, we talked about Max Crosby.
I mean, he does wear 98.
He does. We could go with that. There's a lot of, I feel like there's a lot of 98s out there, but we're not going to go there. We're just going to call it the Connor Bedard episode and keep moving on because you know what? If you have enough confidence to put your number one away from the great one, who am I to stop you, kid? Good luck.
Nick, do you know who Connor Bedard is? We're the two hockey people on the pod, Sean and I, but...
He plays hockey.
Great work, buddy.
Let's move past this. We don't need to play this game today. I don't need this.
We got a lot to talk about in the Formula One sphere. Chinese Grand Prix just wrapped up a couple of days ago, so we're going to break that down. Not too much happening in the world of the NFL right now. Some small free agent signings here and there, some retirements. Darius Slay retired, but we're pretty much just going to talk about Formula One right now because we've got China to talk about. Going to give our race predictions for Japan, which is coming up next weekend, and then we don't have a race for all of April for various geopolitical reasons, which
then
we
it's
will not get
Miami
into.
would be the next one. That's
Miami, first week of May. So, yeah, we're going to have all of April off. Go check out IndyCar because they do race in April, and it's a cool series as well. Actually, they only have like one race in April as well. There's not. Go watch NASCAR, I guess. If you're a motorsports fan and you need a fix in April, it's NASCAR. It's NASCAR or bust. Enjoy.
I can't tell you how much I'm not going to watch NASCAR throughout.
That's
April.
okay. I'm just thinking. I'm just trying to give some options to our viewers and our listeners. Like, hey, if you need a fix for some motorsports, it's pretty much NASCAR. Maybe some NHRA. I don't know. It's pretty much North American sports, and that's about it. Nick, welcome back.
I don't know what the hell's going on.
You're on the opposite side of the screen now. This is so visually confusing for me.
He just switched everywhere. By the way, if you want to chime along, you can. Please comment in the chat, and Nick will throw your comments up on the screen as we do this live here on YouTube. And are we on Twitch right now, Nick?
Yeah, we are. And
awesome.
Chris is in here saying it's the Tyrone Crawford episode. So
there are a lot of options to choose from with 98.
There's a lot of 98s out there.
This is the Bill Elliott episode. Sean, NASCAR driver, drove the McDonald's 98.
I don't know NASCAR like at all. I know I know modern day NASCAR, and that's it. And that's only because I have to cover it from time to time.
I've started checking people's Wikipedia pages to see if they're problematic, I had to switch today's 3 times. There's just a lot of problematic former athletes out there that,
yeah. I was wrong. He drove the 94 at McDonald's.
Oh,
so
well, there you go. At least you're checking yourself before you wreck yourself, Nick, like they do in NASCAR often. Also, if you want to hit us up on social media, we're on Instagram at GridironPod. That's on IG at GridironPod. And then on TikTok at the.gridiron.podcast. That's on the talk at the.gridiron.podcast. You can also email us, as a couple of you have already done, at thegridironpodcast3. That's the Gridiron Podcast number 3.
Damn those
other
two.
At gmail.com. That's right, at gmail.com. Let's get right into it, guys. Chinese Grand Prix just wrapped up, second race of the year. We got to see a little bit more out of these new cars, these new regulations. And I know, Katie, you're going to disagree with me, but I got to say, it was better than Australia, okay? It was better than Australia. We got more racing. We had some more racy incidents. I don't feel as bad about these regulations now as I did coming out of Australia. So what do you think?
Incidents. I find that I'm noticing my hatred for the regs more in quali than in the actual race. Do you guys feel that? Are we on to anything there?
I would like. Can you elaborate further? Why do you say that?
Like when they're losing speed when they should be flat out, those are the moments where I notice it the most in qualifying, as opposed to
fair.
in the race.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it still does feel slightly artificial to me, but I'm trying to give it a chance. We are only 2 races in, so I'm trying not to be hard on everything, but qualifying, I'm definitely still very distracted by it. But yeah, the race, I agree, Sean. I think the race was more exciting than Australia.
It was. I didn't get to see qualifying because, I mean, east coast of the U.S. where I live, qualifying and the race were at 3 a.m. local time, so had to get the replays on that one. So I didn't watch anything live, but I could just see from what was happening on the track, seeing cars go like 4 wide into like turn 1 at China at the end of that long straight. That doesn't happen in Formula One, okay? That's some NASCAR, that's some IndyCar stuff. When cars are fanning out because they have the traction and they have the speed, that's kind of cool. So I see the vision that Formula One is going for. And I'm not trying to be like an FIA or a Formula One apologist here saying, yeah, these cars are great, awesome, woo. I think it's going to go track by track. We're going to see what's happening. But I see the wheels turning. But you're right. When you hear them downshifting on the straights during qualifying when they're supposed to be flat out, that is still annoying.
We never have to hand it to the FIA for anything, just so we're clear.
We don't.
Under any circumstances.
But the battles between the Mercedes and Ferraris, again, by the way, completely didn't even say who won the race. Kimi Antonelli, the second youngest Grand Prix winner in Formula One history, only behind Max Verstappen, wins his first race of his Formula One career and of his Mercedes career. Started on pole, lost the lead going into turn 1 to Sir Lewis Hamilton. And you could hear the cheers from the crowd in Shanghai. But by lap 2, Kimi was able to save enough battery past Lewis. It wasn't a contest again. The Mercedes just ran away and hid from everyone else. It went Mercedes, Mercedes, Ferrari, Ferrari. Lewis Hamilton got on the podium for the first time for Ferrari, so we'll talk about that. Let's start off, though, with Kimi. 19 years old, still a teenager. They put him in the big team last year. He didn't have to do the George Russell route, right? He didn't have to go to Williams and suffer in Williams for a couple of years. He was put into the big boy team right off the bat, had an up-and-down rookie season, second race of the year. This season, his sophomore season, finally wins a race.
He happens to be driving the fastest car too. it's if we're measuring every other car like by length, it's from a spectrum, my left to right. Way down here you have like Cadillac.
Maybe
and
go up
Audi.
and down.
They're both
you're on
the
a vertical screen right now. Maybe go up and down.
Yeah.
Okay, so the top of my bald head is McLaren, not McLaren. Excuse me, Mercedes. Force of habit.
Freudian slip.
Not McLaren.
My eyebrows. Yeah, my eyebrows are Ferrari, and then my chin all the way down to my feet is everybody else. And so there is still space between here and here, but the further you go down, it gets worse. And it is Ferrari's better off the line to start. We've seen that. Mercedes has the better car overall. And Kimi was the one to get out in front and cruise away like Lewis Hamilton used to do with Mercedes back in the day, which is great for him. I'm not diminishing any of his victory because he did go off track with about 3 laps left to go and, kind of had an encounter with how fickle success can be sometimes. But he finished the job. He drove a good race. Congratulations to him. 19 years old, youngest pole winner, gets his first victory. Hooray. Everybody's happy for you. That's great. But my God, is the Mercedes the better car? I mean, like, the Ferraris are out there duking it out through significant portions of this race, and there's just George waiting to strike, and then he strikes, and then they can't catch him. And the same thing essentially happened in the sprint. And you can just tell that, like, once they get out in front, we used to talk about clean air with, like, ground effect and everything else and all the downforce. Now it's just a matter of they're just faster. And once they get out from behind the traffic and the conflict going on in front of them, they just pull away because they have the fastest car. They have the car that's most dialed in. They understand how to use the battery the best. It is just the best car right now. It has the best traction out of corners, has the best grip throughout the track. It is the best car. And Kimi happened to be the one in front with it. He was afforded the ability to build a lead over the course of the race and comes home with his first victory. So congrats. But I also am not going to sit back and be like, oh my God, what an accomplishment. Like, they took a risk on a young guy to replace Lewis Hamilton. A lot of people raised an eyebrow at it, and they happened to develop the best car with new regulations, and that's what you get. You get victories.
And I will say with the Mercedes as well, you're watching it pass, not even on the straights, but before the braking zone. They are that quick when they have that added power, when they have the added overtake and the boost or whatever else they're using in that battery, they are passing before the braking zone even comes. So it is just the best car, head and shoulders. Kimi wins, 5 seconds behind him, his own teammate George Russell. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but we do now have officially a championship fight on our hands. Kimi Antonelli is 4 points behind George Russell.
Everybody's in the championship fight.
By the way, unless Ferrari can close the gap, this is the only way we're going to have a close championship battle. Again, this is like turning back into the old Mercedes days, whether it was, when it was, Nico and Lewis duking it out. Do we think Kimi can keep up with George for a full, now 22 race season?
I don't really foresee that happening, but I'm really hoping that some teams can kind of bring some upgrades throughout the season, and and it does get a little closer because it does feel like it's already down to 2 drivers out of this whole season.
Well, maybe. I mean, I feel like Ferrari can make it interesting. Like they talked about the Macarena wing, and they were talking about bringing upgrades to the first race and bringing upgrades to the second race. I have a friend who's a diehard Lewis fan, so he's very into Ferrari. And he's like, every time I see him, he's like, Ferrari's bringing upgrades next weekend. It's like his favorite thing to say.
They have
no matter
unlimited
when
upgrades.
I see him. Yeah, the Ferrari's bringing upgrades. Did you hear that? They're bringing upgrades.
Where
I'm
we
like,
heard that before.
I heard it a lot last year, and it didn't pan out very well.
Weirdly, and the year before, and the year before.
I think that they are competitive enough to make it interesting. Like there are going to be moments this season where things aren't going to go perfect for Mercedes, and somebody's going to, have contact or blow a tire or an engine fails or something, and it's going to open the door for Ferrari. And as long as they stay within striking distance, as long as they make that third place in the podium, like 3-4, and they steal a win here and there in the early stages of the season, I think it's going to remain interesting. It's just right now there's a definitive leader, but I will say this, not to completely take away from the current topic, but I think the regs are absolutely awesome. And I know that a lot of it's manufactured, but after watching that race, yes, I know that like you pass on the straight and you're like, well, why did you pass going into the straight when you know you're just going to lose that spot? I don't care because there's so much skill and composure required to battle the car next to you or 2 cars next to you through a lot of these like twisting turns at China. I thought it was a great display of why the regs are awesome. That it's going to be exciting nonetheless, like regardless of whether Mercedes ends up pulling away. There was a lot of battling. And yes, you could say some of it's manufactured. And yeah, maybe they're downshifting on the straights to recharge the battery. I think that's all part of the design, which is like adding another element of strategy, driver strategy. When do you deploy the battery? How good are you at recharging the battery while you're driving? That takes skill. That takes adaptation. That makes you a better driver, even if it doesn't match the normal standards that we hold drivers to. And it makes for compelling racing, like to the point where the broadcast team, obviously they're working for F1, they are state media, but they get through the first 10 laps and they're like, I'm out of breath. Like, I don't know what to say. And that's good. It's entertaining, and that's what we're looking for.
Okay, I like how, so we've got Katie who's still hesitant about the regulations. We've got Nick who's full on drinking the Kool-Aid, and I think I'm kind of, as I am on the screen right now, kind of right in the middle, just like, all right, I'm still waiting to see. We had a banger in China. We had a stinker in Australia.
I wouldn't call it a banger, if I'm honest.
I think it was just, honestly,
I think it was a banger.
just
Do
from
you?
the terms of
I
racecraft all over. Because we had Alpines passing Haas's. We had Haas's passing Red Bulls. We had Red Bulls passing Haas's. We had Williams in the fight. Yes, Mercedes and Ferrari were a ways up the track, but like when Lewis was dominating or when Max was dominating and we had to focus on the race behind them,
the race behind it kind of sucked.
Yeah, the race behind him kind of sucked because we were in DRS trains. At least now, we got some racing behind the leaders. So
like I know that like maybe it's manufactured, but it's legit racing. Like it requires racecraft. I know it's different racecraft than what we're used to, but it still requires racecraft. And that
again,
I was on the edge of my seat more in the last, especially this race, but even the last race than I was for the majority of last season, and that alone is an improvement.
Again, I'm going to just kind of take it race by race. I'm just going to I'm going to reserve my judgment here for a while. I'm going to take the whole season, but do want to talk about Ferrari. So far this season, it's been chalk. 1-2 Mercedes, 3-4 Ferrari. The battle between Charles and Lewis. That was awesome. That was awesome. And at the end of it, when Lewis ultimately overtook Charles for good, even Charles had to get on the radio and be like, "That was actually quite fun."
Yeah.
Like he was not only complimenting his teammate, but his team and kind of himself by like, "Hey guys, I enjoyed that. Like I just had fun battling it out on track with my own teammate." Which, how amazing were those two guys to give each other enough space, not crash into one another, and just provide us with some entertaining racing.
There was so many moments where like I felt like Lewis was about to hit Charles, like as they're going through turns, and they're just so close, and I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna get in contact. It honestly, it was kind of like like ballet, like it was like synchronized. It was like poetry on track where they're just back and forth, just like tandem racing against each other throughout these different sections of the track. It's awesome. I'm just glad Ferrari's like not back, but like kind of back. Like, yeah, they messed up strategy in Australia, but I'm just glad that they're near the front of the pack and that they're the fastest team off the line so far and that they're making things interesting because throughout like the last 6-7 years, that red car has been, like it's just been, you can make a mockery of them. Yeah. Like they had this great history and all the aura about them, and yet they never backed it up like almost ever. And now you can take them seriously.
Speaking of aura, Katie, Sir Lewis Hamilton on the podium. As a Lewis Hamilton fan, you finally got to see him in the blood red overalls up there. How special was that for you?
I have some issues with Lewis off the track right now that I'm not going to be speaking about. So I'm a Lewis fan. Do I have some issues in this exact moment in time? Absolutely. There was something about that podium though that healed me. Seeing Bono up there with George and Kimi and Lewis and Bono, that to me was like, oh, this is so much of my F1 fandom right here because I came up as a Lewis fan, therefore being a Mercedes fan. I thought that was really special, and it was really special seeing Lewis up there, and he seemed so happy, and for the first time in F1 in a long time, he felt really hopeful and really excited, which we have seen a lot of basically since 2021, really sad Lewis for a long time and kind of going nonverbal after the races, which I understand. I'm a very emotional person too. I wear my heart on my sleeve, which I love that about him, but it was fun seeing that joyous side out of him again. I couldn't help but wish that Nico Rosberg was the one doing the interviews.
Oh boy, yeah.
Toto was funny. He said, I actually thought for a moment we have 3 cards, first, second, and third. And then he said, still our driver. And somewhere I'm like, Nico has a single tear down his face hearing that.
I think it was really nice to see just how genuinely happy Lewis was for Kimi too.
Totally.
And how funny it was when the announcer said, like, your winner, Kimi Räikkönen.
He did? I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of videos out there. You can hear the whoever was doing the PA announcing saying like your Grand Prix winner, Kimi Räikkönen, and like Kimi just goes, like he's just like what? Like did anyone else hear that? He just called me Kimi Räikkönen.
Did they say Grand Prix, Sean?
Oh God, I was hoping he was gonna let me get away with that one, but anyway.
No, it was really special, and yeah, I'm so happy for Lewis. Like he's been in the sport forever, and it is funny because he's been on the podium before, but it was in a sprint race, and it's so funny that it just feels like that truly doesn't matter at all because the sprint race doesn't matter. But I think that just shows how much more special a Grand Prix is because it does feel really, really different this year than him being on the podium last year in China. But yeah, obviously I was thrilled. Like it's been so long since I've seen Lewis that happy, and it made me very happy.
Now, you were also talking about you're kind of waiting for some teams to bring some upgrades, right? And maybe close the gap, not just to Mercedes, but to Ferrari, and just make it kind of more interesting as the season goes on, even if Mercedes by that point has built up enough of a lead to win both championships. I think one of the teams that can do that is McLaren, because they're still figuring out what they... No, I really know. They're still figuring out what they have in this engine because apparently Mercedes didn't give them an owner's manual or something like that. But this weekend did not go anywhere the way they wanted to because both cars did not start the race. First time in Lando Norris's career he has DNS'd a race. This is the second straight week. Yeah, second straight week Oscar Piastri has not started a race. Last week he binned it on the dummy formation lap, and then this week he also didn't start. They found the same issue in both cars. We had 4 cars, actually, that didn't make it to the grid. We had both McLarens, we had Gabriel Bortoleto, and we had Alex Albon with Williams. So we have yet to, in this new 22-car field, start a Grand Prix with 22 cars. Other retirements were also Max Verstappen, and then surprise, surprise, both Aston Martins again retired.
Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise. You're telling me this for the very first time. I just think that if McLaren can figure it out, they have the technology. They've done this before where they have closed the gap quickly. I don't see a reason why they couldn't do that this time around either. I think we're just kind of waiting for them to get their shit together. But right now they're in Spain without the A.
Without the A?
Without the A?
Spin.
They're in spin?
It's a meme. You never heard that? It's a meme. It's like, I'm in Spain without the A. You're in spin? Yes, but they really are. In fact, later on, because there was a IndyCar race later that day, and that is where McLaren CEO Zach Brown was in Arlington for the IndyCar race, and the Fox broadcast was asking him. Will Buxton was asking him. He's like, "Yeah, hopefully your cars today can brighten your mood after the Formula One race this morning." And Zach Brown was like, "Well, as long as they start, we're already in better shape."
Bar is low.
Hey, at least he's making light of it, given how frustrating it's been. It's funny. I was watching the sprint, and I had a thought when the McLarens were battling in it, and I'm like, man, new regs are like I'm not just only a fan of it. The way that new regs reset the field is just awesome. Like, if we carried over last year's regs, it'd just be McLaren cruising away again, and maybe like Red Bull pushing them a little bit. Instead, it just completely flips the field, where last year's champion is just in the pack, and then they can't even start the race. Like, that's awesome. It gives us variety. The last thing we want is predictability. And yes, will it level out eventually, and we'll get some predictability? Yes. Are we getting predictability at the front of the race right now? Yes, sure.
Yes.
Yeah. But like, just the fact that like it kind of flips the tables to start a season is just, I don't know. It's invigorating to me, but I also have to give a tip of the proverbial cap to Sean for being engaged in the race despite his team not even starting the race. Because that would be, I would watch and I would be excited to watch, but I would also be like, damn, I don't have a dog in the fight. Because my dog is in the fight, but not really fighting much, kind of just staying on the periphery of the race. Can we talk about how bad my team is?
Yeah.
I think we should,
quick.
Nick.
I just wanted to mention, so obviously, again, like I said, race was at 3 a.m. Eastern, and I woke up, and I'm like, all right, first thing I do, I was going to spoil it for myself. I wasn't going to watch it right when I woke up, so I just wanted to see the results. And I'm like, okay, Kimi, awesome, cool. All right, and I'm looking for, like, the little, like, McLaren symbol, and I'm like, wait, did they finish outside the top 10? And then I scrolled down on social media, and the second post was McLaren's DNS. I'm like, oh, holy hell. I was like, okay, this is going to be an interesting. So I went into this race knowing, okay, they're out of it, whatever. Let's just watch for fun. And I did. But yes, let's talk about Red Bull, because I thought going into Australia, they had the third fastest car. I thought it was Mercedes. I thought it was Ferrari. I thought it was Red Bull. And then close to Red Bull was McLaren. And I thought we would once again be getting Lando, Max, Oscar battles. Has not happened that way. I mean, kind of, like Max was battling Lando in Australia, but Max, terrible off the line, man.
The Red Bull starts are atrocious.
Terrible.
I don't think it's him. I think it's just a bad engine. Like, there is no power coming out of the engine.
Isaac doesn't seem like he's that bad off the
line.
I
agree, Sean. It feels like it's a Max issue right now.
Now, I feel like Max is having the issue with the battery off the line, because he lost, 6-7 places at the start of this race?
So your start is driven solely by the combustion engine. It has nothing to do with the battery. And if you watch the onboards of Max's starts, you can hear the engine just sitting down there. It's like he's revving, and then he drops into first gear, and then you see everyone start to pull away, and you can hear the engine just, and then it like goes, and then he catches up. And that's why I'm like, is that a car thing, or is it him not figuring out how to get to the next stage in the start? Because you're right, if it's not as bad for Isaac, then maybe it is a Max thing, but it's noticeable. Like, it's a growl of a car. It's like a freaking 87 Civic that needed its oil change 10,000 miles ago.
This is an 83 Honda. How dare you?
How dare you?
This is a 2026 Red Bull powertrains by Ford. How dare you?
Yeah, Max has felt pretty deflated this entire season, and you could hear him and GP kind of getting into on the radio, and GP's like, man, I'm just trying to help you. And like, I'm not used to seeing Max like this. It's giving a lot of like Lewis deflated from the last few years. You were talking about
sad Lewis. We're getting sad
We're
Max
getting
now.
sad and angry Max. It just feels like he doesn't even want to be here this season, which is fair. Like, he's used to being in a rocket ship. I also feel like there's less of a big gap between this version of the RBs, and I don't know whether that's an Isaac Hadjar
It's early. It's early.
Well, no, it is, but I feel like we're so used to there being such a huge gap, especially, I guess you're right, especially in the later half of the season. But it just gives me hope. And I'm cheering for Isaac so much and it just felt like that was a death wish, like it was for every other driver to go into that second RB. I hope this is the season where, because of the reg changes, that it isn't just a cursed seat where nobody can drive it.
I was even thinking because, like, again, I saw the results first, then I watched it, and I saw Isaac finished P8, and I was like, oh, good for Isaac. Max DNF. Is this the season that second Red Bull seat, that curse is finally lifted? Is Isaac? And then as I watched the race, he spun on lap 1. I'm like, oh, okay, there we go. Great drive from him to go from 19th back to 8th, but yeah, you know, he said, yeah, you know.
And you know, Max, he's driver of the day in Australia. I mean, he did a hell of a job climbing all the way up to what, P6 in that race in the back of the field. And he was cutting through the field in this race too. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they show him just cruising along, and they're like, "All right, retire the car." And if you looked at him, was it in the sprint of the race? I can't remember. There was a lot of graining on front left tires on a lot of these cars, but Max's was pronounced. Like, I think it was the sprint, like 9 laps into the sprint, he's like, my tire's gone. My tire is completely gone. And then they show it, and it's like there is a just a super thick patch of the tire that is way grained in. You can tell, like, there's just nothing there. He tried to go for an overtake outside that, like, the corkscrew part of the track in the GP, and had the speed, had the angle, no grip in that tire, goes off the track completely. And you're just like, damn, like, the car reliability is so poor for him right now. It's a bummer because you know the talent that he has, and I'm just like, new regs, man. You don't know what you're gonna get. It's a dice roll, and Laurent Mekies in his first year as team principal at the start of the season, not off to a great start.
Not off to a great start at all. You know who is off to a great start, Nick? Oliver Bearman. Can we give him his flowers?
Yeah, we can.
Like, going into this race, did you think that Ollie Bearman was going to be best of the rest, P5, behind the Mercedes and the Ferraris?
I honestly think that Ollie Bearman might have a bit of that dog in him. The more I watch him.
He's got some dog in him.
We saw it last season, but man, last season we saw more of the puppy. This season we are seeing a bit of that dog in Ollie Bearman, and I love that for him. He's a very likable character.
And he's got that DMX dog in him.
The dog.
He's so, I don't know. He just seems like he's so innocent, too, because, like, remember last year they were like, he was like, I want to say something, and then he leaned to his PR professional, like, or was that during preseason testing this year? I can't remember. But, like, he had to ask permission, like, from his PR, like, what do I say? Oh, and then he just, like, we had to retire the car with an issue or something like that. Well, when I mentioned Isaac Hadjar spun on lap 1, it was because Ollie Bearman passed him but off track, so he gives the place back. And immediately, as soon as he gives the place back, Isaac Hadjar spins. And had Ollie Bearman not taken, like, evasive maneuvers out to the left and gone outside the track, I mean, he would have just T-boned Isaac Hadjar. He would have gone up and over his car. He was asked about it afterwards, and he literally goes, oh, you mean when I almost killed? Or did he say murder? He's like, oh, do you mean when I almost murdered Isaac? Like, he was just, like, ready to go.
I didn't hear that.
He is a likable, fun character. And I'm happy that Haas looked pretty punchy. Like, that Ferrari engine is pretty good. So I appreciate that Haas is having a good start to the season. They are 1 point behind McLaren through 2 races.
That's crazy.
It's great. Good for Haas.
McLaren are truly racking up like Pokemon. Like, they have DSQs, DNFs, and DNSs.
Yes.
We've got them all.
You saw the social media post, didn't you?
Maybe subconsciously?
Yeah, someone posted, someone's like, they've collected all the, like, infinity rings or whatever it's called.
Infinity Stones.
It's like, yeah, the Infinity Stones. It's like the gauntlet with, like, DSQ, DNS, DNS.
Oh, I didn't see that one, no. I am hoping that the lack of reliability, because we have seen so many retirements so far this season, I'm hoping that does bring a bit of parity to the season. Because even with, was it quali for the sprint weekend? Screw me up so bad. Quali for the race in Q3, George had that moment where I was like, oh my God, is George going to be finishing or starting the race P10? Because he had that moment and then we weren't sure if he was going to be back okay for quali. So even when the Mercedes are having issues like that, I'm really hoping that, like, and my predictions, I so badly want to do 2 Mercedes and 1 Ferrari every single podium prediction, but I'm really hoping that won't be the case. And even if it just comes down to sometimes one of the Mercs will have an issue, that does keep it a lot more entertaining. There have been so many retirements.
There have been a lot of retirements. Cadillac has done more racing laps than McLaren. Oscar Piastri has not made it to the starting grid yet this season, discounting the sprint race. Yeah, as soon as McLaren figure their stuff out, I mean, they're probably like P3 in the championship, but what are we going to do here?
Or not. Who knows?
Or
We don't know
not.
if the car is actually
they
any
might
good.
not figure their stuff out.
I can't remember if I had said this on this show or if it was in conversation. My brain is just fried these days. But one thing that was a giveaway for me that the McLarens might have issues this season was right before the first race where Oscar was interviewed. And they said, "Oh, how are you feeling about your chances this season?" And he went, and I'm like, "Oh, I know what that means." That's some rising intonation right there.
Not great.
And then he said, "We're just hoping to be in the mix." And if you're coming off a driver's championship and a constructor's championship, and your only hope after testing out this new car is to be in the mix, that to me was a giveaway that they are not happy with the car that is out on the track. And what have we seen so far?
Yeah.
We've barely seen the
We've
car on
barely
the
seen
track
the car
that's
on
had
the
so many
track.
issues.
I'm wondering though if because of these regulations, and I'm not just talking about McLaren solely, but is there more room for these regulations? Because the changes we saw during the last regulations were incremental. McLaren was they were the exception to the rule. When they had, what was that, 2023, where they went from the slowest car to one of the fastest over the course of a month. When they showed up to Silverstone, they had a rocket ship from that point on out, and that's what led up to 2024 and then to Lando winning in 2025.
That was the same season where Aston Martin was sneaky good for 4 weeks. Then they were
Right.
bye forever. But
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like McLaren was the exception because the changes we saw in production were incremental at best. But I feel like with these regulations, because everyone except for Mercedes and Ferrari are still kind of trying to figure it out. Even Ferrari is still trying to figure it out a little bit. They're trying different things. Maybe I'm hoping that gives the opportunity for larger gains in performance, whether it be McLaren or Cadillac, or for God's sake, Aston Martin finish a dang race. Well, no, Lance did finish a race, but 15 laps down.
I saw a quote from Lance. I wish I wrote it down. He was like, he corrected someone. He's like, racing, more like circulating. Oh, but
He is in Spain without the A.
he is in Spain with
By the way, because Cadillac finished this race with both cars, they are now officially ahead of Aston Martin in the standings. Let's go, Caddy.
Unbelievable.
Biggest question that remains unanswered. Is the nerve damage permanent yet?
We will find out.
We are checking.
We are checking. As someone that has permanent nerve damage in their hands, I 0 out of 10 recommend it.
Hold on.
Yeah, it's called
Story
peripheral
time
neuropathy.
Yeah.
Story time. Go.
It's nothing exciting. It's just a lapse in the healthcare system where they were trying to figure out what was wrong with me and just kept putting me on all of these antibiotics. And then there was one that I tried that gave me what's called peripheral neuropathy, and I have permanent tingling in my hands. So oftentimes when I put my hand down onto a table, it'll feel like I'm putting it down in water and it'll be cold. And then I'll go wipe it off and there's nothing there. It's really creepy and weird.
I don't like that.
Yeah, no, I don't like that either.
I'm surprised. Thought you might.
Yeah.
Thought you might be like, you know what? Actually, I prefer to
love
have
it.
It sounds fun.
always wet hands. Always. I don't ever want my hands to feel dry again.
Wet, but not wet. Oh, yeah, I just hate all of it. But I also am
I'm
someone that has
serious.
dealt with a lot of sciatica. And, for anyone that's ever had nerve pain, I know that sounds like an old person thing. I guess I am creeping up into that age bracket. But, yeah, for anyone that's had any sort of nerve issue, it truly is the worst.
Yeah,
I
it
truly
is.
couldn't imagine anything worse.
Yeah, it's awful. The sensations vary, and they can be debilitating. And I wouldn't want to get
having
it by
more-
driving a car for work.
Which, by the way, did you guys see the video of Fernando Alonso driving with no hands?
No hands. Look, Ma, no hands.
He literally was going down one of the longest straights on the calendar, the front straight in China. It might be the longest, I think. And he took his hands off the wheel. And he's just... So hey, at least the alignment on those cars is correct, because otherwise he'd be in the wall. But the view from his cockpit cam was insane. I'm like, he is not driving with his hands.
I didn't see that. That's
I
crazy.
mean, if there's any driver on the
Insane.
grid
That
who could
honestly
pull it
should
off.
be illegal, but my God.
Oh, I have
Any
some
driver
trivia
on the
for you
grid.
guys after the weekend. Do you know how many drivers on the grid at this current moment now have a race win?
Let's see. Oscar, Max, Lando, George, Kimi, Lewis, Charles, Fernando Alonso, Esteban Ocon, Pierre Gasly,
12.
Sergio Perez, 11. And Valtteri Bottas,
13.
12.
13.
13. I don't have them written down. I just saw
Okay,
them.
hold on.
I saw that on the graphic earlier.
I got to 12 because both Cadillacs have.
Did you
have
have
a win.
Valtteri?
Yeah, both
Valtteri
Cadillacs at
Bottas?
12. Oh, and Carlos Sainz. Dang it.
Carlos Sainz.
Carlos
there it
Sainz.
is.
Okay, forgot about Carlos. Which, hey,
Who?
he was finished in the points. Williams got their first points of the season.
Yeah.
Didn't
Carlos
start
had
through
a
the
good
car.
drive, I think.
Yeah, I think that's all we got for China, right? Can we move on to Japan
China.
predictions?
China. Do you want to do one more trivia question?
Yeah.
Sure, please.
Okay, so
Wait,
Esteban
hold
Ocon-
up. You gave us hell
don't even
all
start.
those years
Don't-
ago.
I'm gonna quit the show because I
Yeah,
don't
I'm gonna
like.
quit
Do you
the
even
show
know?
because I don't like. What was that game even called?
Do you even know?
Do you
I
even
have,
know?
Katie, will
and
you-
now
will you do
Katie's
you
on
even
here like,
know
can I
us?
give you more trivia questions?
In
Will you
fairness, I've
You know
wanted
what?
to quit the show every single week, and I just haven't said it.
You have.
No, you really have.
When
You've
was the
been
last time I
that
said it?
clear.
I don't think I've said that out in writing or out loud in
You've
over
tried
a
to-
calendar year.
You
Have
tried
I
to quit
alluded?
the
Yes.
show in the group chat like I don't know 100 times. Every time we're just like, yeah, okay, like come on back whenever.
Not
And-
recently.
Okay.
Because
true.
you know what? I just can't quit you two. That's what it is. And all of our loyal listeners.
Every time she tries to leave, she's pulled right back in.
Anyways, yeah, I wanted to
in.
divert away from doing a little fun trivia nugget without bringing back Do You Even Know? Because everyone knows I hate that game. I
Do you
found
even
this. and I-
know that
Do you
Katie
know?
hates? Do you even know?
Esteban Ocon picked up an unwanted record this weekend at the Chinese Grand Prix. The most races without a pole position at 182. Who did he pass? Also, that sucks for him so bad.
Without a
Who did he
pole
pass?
position.
Nico Hulkenberg.
No.
I'm
No,
gonna
because
go.
Hulk has had podiums.
No,
he
you
just-
said
and
pole position.
I mean, I'm sorry, pole position. He had
Okay.
pole. He just
Yeah.
never had a podium for last year.
Is this someone on the grid right now?
No.
No.
Not
Okay.
this grid.
Oh, Romain Grosjean.
Yeah. I can't believe you got that.
I didn't know where you were
watched
going with
IndyCar
that.
last weekend, Sean. That's right. I watched the sport that you breathlessly promote. I watched it. I got the IndyCar driver. Boom.
Did you enjoy yourself?
Yeah, it was all right.
Great work,
A lot
Nick.
of cars on that track, man.
Yeah, man.
Anyways,
There
that's-
are.
yeah.
We're still missing two because one of the teams can't pay for the cars right now. All right, cool. I like that, Katie. Bring some more trivia. Nick and I can answer it. That way you don't have to ask. Do you even now?
You know what's funny about that is like when we do, because I've been trying to go to bar trivia every Tuesday, and every time there's a sports question, I will get it because they're easier than whatever you guys will come up with. And also, I buckle under pressure of this show. Turns out, in like a normal human environment, I'm not that dumb. But when it comes to this show,
never
I go
dumb.
like my short circuit as soon as I'm on
No,
the podcast.
you've had tremendous growth throughout the history of this show.
Your pigtails are just like slow fuses burning. Just like,
You don't even like blush anymore. You know, like you're completely dialed in now.
Oh, by the
no,
way,
I still
you know
get
what
so
popped up?
nervous, and I get red and blotchy on my neck, so I have to put foundation over it because I get so nervous being on air still. And this is the 4th year we've been doing this podcast, which isn't that crazy?
I know. We're
That is
coming up on
crazy.
100 episodes soon. That is also crazy.
More on that later.
Yeah. By the way, I also our Katie's screaming video popped up on my TikTok again, and I think I
My
watched
what,
that.
Sean?
I think I watched that like 20 times and just
blowing
kept
right through it.
laughing at like 1 a.m. last night. I'm like, I can't believe like this happened. We captured it, and it was just one of the funniest moments in this podcast's history because you caught yourself so quick. And both Nick and I were just like, okay.
I am
And you're like,
so
we're cutting this from the pod. And we did not cut it from the pod.
No, it was
one of the
too good.
funniest and most genuine moments of this podcast.
Oh my god. I'm crying again.
Now Nick's all red.
No, I'm not. Am I?
Nick, you were red as a tomato.
Red bud.
Really? Holy shit! I don't even feel hot. Now I'm gonna get hot and feel red, or get red and feel hot.
All right, moving on from China to Japan. We're headed back to Suzuka. for the Japanese Grand Prix on March 29th, at least in the States. And it is a 1 a.m. race. Perfect race for you, Katie, because you're in the Pacific time. No, you're Mountain time. You're Mountain time.
Good job,
You're
Sean.
Mountain time. You're 2 hours
Which there
behind
is a
us.
bit of controversy about that right now because all of BC has just decided to not switch for daylight saving time anymore. And then I live in this weird little rogue pocket of the province. So there is a bunch of like time zone drama right now. So we might actually be moving to Pacific time. This is some like very niche
Interesting.
British Columbia tea right now.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Some British Columbia tea.
That's right. Anyways, yep, mountain time.
Mountain time. All right, so you're 2 hours behind us. That's an 11 p.m. race for you. That's prime viewing.
I
That
love
is
the Japanese Grand
prime
Prix.
viewing. I love an 11 p.m. race. So we're headed to Suzuka. Podium predictions. I mean, it's just going to be chalk again probably, but let's give them. Katie, go ahead.
P3. Look at me starting
There
the
you
right
go.
direction this week. We're all doing our best, you know? P3, I'm going to say Charles Leclerc. P2, Lewis Hamilton. P1, George Russell.
Okay.
All right.
I'm banking on some sort of reliability issue
There's-
for Merck to not
something
make the,
has to give,
or just
right,
some
yeah.
sort of crash or whatever. But yeah, those are my three.
Nick?
I owe Katie an apology for deflecting blame last week to her when Sean chastised me for going P1, P2, P3. I only said it because Sean came after me as if he was not listening to Katie at all, who had just done it. It was not her fault. It was more calling out Sean's lack of attentive listening. Now that we've cleared that air, hopefully, P1. I'm just kidding.
Thank you, Nick. I've been seething about this all week.
I know.
She was going to threaten to
really-
quit the podcast again.
It's really driven a wedge in our relationship. P3, we're going to go with Charles Leclerc. P2 is going to be George Russell. And P1 is Lewis Hamilton.
I love that.
Believe.
We're just trying to throw stuff at the wall until it sticks at this point, right?
That's what we were
Yeah.
doing the Max season. Every
Yeah.
P1, Max.
Yeah. But P2. Gonna go rogue.
I will go P3, Lewis Hamilton, P2, George Russell, P1, Kimi Antonelli, and he takes over the championship lead. So
I love
we might
that.
have a little controversy here. Now the question falls to Toto. Toto, who are you going to back? Huh? You got to pick a driver yet? You going to pick a driver, Toto?
Him and his number one boy, Kimi Antonelli.
Kimi
No,
Antonelli.
I think
What a nice message he had for Kimi too. Was relaying all of the naysayers and the doubters. You're
he brought
Grand Prix winner.
receipts.
Yes, he has the receipts. That was a nice moment though.
Kimmy, 9 September 2025.
Kimi.
Kimmy, is this the Grand Prix winner hotline? You did it.
I love so much how Sean Barry says Grand Prix, doing his best Zach Brown impression. I love
That's what I
that.
was going for there.
Zach Brown has like country club dad who dug an in-ground pool so his kids would leave him alone energy.
Oh,
But
I don't
when
see him at a country club whatsoever. I feel like everyone there would have hated him.
Oh,
Zach
no, they
Brown-
do. They do. He's just unaware of it.
Zach
Oh,
Brown
his
definitely-
lack of self-awareness when it comes to anything is just mind-boggling. Anyway,
Zach
so I
Brown has definitely bought like a smoker or a grill.
Yes, I was going to say. And then so,
Yeah.
Tapped and gone. This baby gets 500 IPU. I don't know what that means. Smoke a brisket in 3 hours. Is that good? Is that fast? Got it on layaway. Congratulations. Just like keeps tapping it and like thinking you know what he's talking about. 100%.
And that feels more Zach Brown because Country Club is very like, yes, quite. Like, if Country Club feels really fancy and it just doesn't feel like he'd be drawn to that.
he built a waterfall in his pool, but he doesn't let the kids go down the waterfall or jump off of it.
Oh, he's such
Unless there's company over.
That
Then he's in the
scene-
pool playing catch with the kids he doesn't pay attention to.
That scene in Drive to
Man.
Survive where he's playing hockey in England was hilarious, objectively. And he's like best friends with Hans Kopitar.
just my arch nemesis, Zach Brown. I just can't. Every time he pops up on my screen, there's a visceral reaction and usually a verbal reaction from me alone in my home.
What's worse, when you see Zach Brown on TV, and again, I'm a McLaren fan, but I understand. When you see Zach Brown on TV or when you see Helmut Marko on TV with his Bond villain features,
Zach Brown, because Helmut Marko is like, he's like on the periphery. Like he's just
he's
like
a literal Bond villain.
I know, but like he's old. Like his time is near. Zach
I
Brown
hate them
could
for
be here
different
decades.
reasons. His time is
Jeez,
time is nigh.
It's a lot
Good
closer
Lord,
than
sir.
Zach's.
Nick, the prophecy. Speaking about Dr.
I'm just thinking
Helmut
about
Marko.
like 10, 20, 30 years. Are we still dealing with Zach Brown? We will not still be dealing with Helmut Marko.
Yeah, get worse soon,
Okay.
Helmut Marko.
Of course, at that point, we'll probably be dealing with trying to figure out how to retire. But that's neither here nor there.
This has been episode 98 of the Gridiron
We're
Podcast.
40.
End on
We still have
that
so many
happy
things.
note.
No, I put something in the doc. Can we talk about this? We haven't
Yeah.
talked about this
No,
on
I
the
already
podcast
started to
yet.
end the podcast.
Oh, we're only at 45 minutes. Our viewers yearn to hear more from us.
All right, what do you got for me?
I put this in the doc. Did you guys see that Lewis has a pet cow named Max?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't spoken about that. That's amazing. It's literally a Red Bull, and his name is Max. Speaking of two people that can't quit each other, Lewis.
He didn't
Max.
name it. He didn't name
Yeah,
it.
he
was
said
Which
he
already
makes
said
it
Max.
even more beautiful that the universe paired him with a Red Bull named Max, and he didn't name.
Do you think that bull tries to like get out of like the pen every once in a while, makes Lewis like repair the fence, and it's like, yeah, just like 2021, huh? Take that.
I hope so.
Take that.
No, he makes Lewis all the other cars in between them two unlap each other, and then he takes Lewis on one-on-one. Yeah.
Also, I don't think we talked about that the races are canceled. Is there anything more to go into?
Okay, so I wanted to bring this up.
Didn't it get leaked because Kimmy was talking
Yeah.
about it on a plane? Who was it? Was it
With
him and Isaac?
It was him and Isaac. They were talking about it, and someone was like, I heard Isaac talking about, like, oh, I guess you'll have more time to do this now that there's no races. Everyone's like, oh, the races are going to get canceled. And then, yes, this week, the FIA and F1 confirmed that both Bahrain and Saudi Arabia will be canceled because of the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. So, yeah, there will be no races all of April. There will be a 5-week gap. But it's not a break, so you can still work on the cars. Like,
Can you
still
test
do
though?
that.
I think
I
that
don't
they
think
should
you can-
allow them to
I think
test.
they should allow. I think they should either find some time
I
or
think so,
find
too.
like if you want to do like some filming or do something like that, you should be able to test probably in Silverstone or wherever you choose to go.
There's
But I
just
think
so
they should
much
let
to
them do that.
learn. There's so much to learn about
Exactly.
these cars. You
And,
need to
guys,
use that time.
Especially this season of all
Yes.
years.
And we're starting to get good racing. FIA, F1, listen to us. Let them run these cars and figure their out.
Yeah,
I like how
do
you
agree.
censored yourself there.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Figure that shit out, FAA. I do wonder
There
how
we
many
go.
races we will end up with this season. Because I'm looking at more on the calendar later on, and I'm like, I wonder if anything is going to be sorted. But
Sorted.
I'll put sorted really.
November. We got that figured out yet? Maybe we need to end the season somewhere else. Portimao, you are on line one.
Portimao, Turkey, Imola. What are you guys up to, huh? At some point, though,
We shall see.
if they need to pivot to other tracks. I agree, Nick, because we've done this in the past with COVID. Pivot, find another track. Don't just cancel all of the races.
I wish we would cancel the American ones, but no more on that later. Many people outside of America feel like that America shouldn't be hosting any events right now, but I digest.
What
I-
events are we even hosting besides
Actually,
the
well,
World,
the World Cup and the
Olympics, Grand Prix
Olympics
this year?
and
I
obviously-
love that
I
you
know, I said
snuck in
Grand
a
Prix.
Grand Prix. In
Grand
fairness, in
Prix.
America, it does feel more like a Grand Prix than a Grand Prix.
Grand Prix. In Miami, it's a Grande Prix.
Sure, it definitely is.
All right, we have run out of steam.
We have. This has been episode 98 of the Gridiron Podcast. Thank you so much for listening, as always. You can chime in on the chat. We're on YouTube, we're on Twitch, and you can hit us up on Instagram at GridironPod. That's on IG at GridironPod. And we're on TikTok as well at the.gridiron.podcast. You can email us as well. And please do, because we've got our 100th episode coming up here in just a couple of weeks' time. If you have any fun ideas on what we should do for our centennial episode,
Maybe
send
a
them our way.
mailbag?
Bag?
What's a bag?
Mail bag?
What's a bag?
I guess I did really earn that.
Bring us your red
pronunciation karma.
flakes
Yeah.
with your mail bag.
Oh, the race is red flagged.
Oh, I
can
am
hit us
so
up
Western Canadian
and
as much as I
email
try to
us.
hide it.
Email us at the Gridiron Podcast 3. That's the Gridiron Podcast number 3
Damn,
those
those
other
other two.
at gmail.com. For Nick Shook and Katie Caldwell, I'm Sean Berry. Thank you so much for listening and watching. As always, we'll see you next time. Be sure to live life in the fast lane.
Damn.
Good night, Canada, and congratulations, Team Venezuela, for cooking those bozos.